Welcome back to TransGuyReacts. My name is Nick, and I make videos about women's basketball, collegiate or professional. Today I'm going to talk about the WNBA games for Wednesday, June 5th. There are two games on today. Luckily, they weren't on top of each other. They were back-to-back, so I was able to watch both of them on League Pass. The first game was the Las Vegas Aces versus the Dallas Wings. Sold out game for the Wings, and it was lit in there. It was so fun. This is a really fun game, actually, in general. And you had this like rivalry of you got the Irish versus the Irish with Jackie Young and Arike Ogunbowale. They're both Notre Dame alums, so that was really cool. Also, I loved seeing Nancy Lieberman, the Hall of Famer, on the call. She is a legend, and I love her analysis of the game. Great coach, great basketball player. Love Nancy. Also to note is Tiffany Hayes this was her first game with the Las Vegas Aces, and she came out of a retirement, and it was fantastic. As soon as she got in the game, she went for a Euro and hit a two. Fantastic. And then on the other side, you had the Dallas Wings cooking. Tierra McCowan hit her first career three in the game. Didn't think she had that in her bag. She's a big post player, so I always imagine her going to the hoop, or going off the boards. But yeah, she hit a 3-pointer, amazing. But in the first quarter, the Las Vegas Aces were dominating the Wings. The end of the quarter was 29-16, but I figured, it's a game of runs. It doesn't mean that the Wings were going to be down necessarily, and that is true because Arike Ogunbowale went off in the second quarter with the help of Monique Billings as well, and a few other Maddie was helping as well. So it was a really great quarter, going back and forth. But the refs, my God, these refs are so terrible. Considering we just came off of the Angel Reese double, getting the technical and throw it out of the game, which was redacted by the WNBA the next day. The refs were awful in this game. They were missing a lot of calls. There was this crazy hard foul from Monique Billings against Asia Wilson, and then that they didn't call. And then on the fast break, Alicia Clark and Arike Ogunbowale are going at it, and they fall, and Clark trips over Arike's feet, and when she falls to the ground, Clark hits her head against the ground. So that was kind of a scary moment. And then they ended up calling the foul on Clark, which I thought was crazy. But if you look at the film, it looks like Arike was pushing off, maybe to get space, but still, it was just like, what? I don't understand that. And, pretty dangerous kind of situation. But luckily, Clark was okay. She came back on the floor a little bit later. At the half, it was 47-42. So the Wings were able to come back and make it a really intense game. It was really fun. The start of the third quarter was even more fun. It was fast. It was exhilarating. They were going up and down the court, sometimes not scoring, but still it was really fun and exhilarating. There's one point where there was another non-call on Asia, and Becky Hammond got so mad that she came out on the court and she ended up getting a technical. They had to calm her down, which is, I love a coach that, supports their team, their players, backing them up. There's another point where Asia Wilson gets a slap on the face from Tierra McCowan. Was not called again. She actually hit her in the eye. Her contact popped out. Crazy. The Wings end up challenging a call because Arike wanted it to be challenged, but it was an obvious foul, and of course they lost the challenge. I don't know why Arike really thought that it wasn't. It was really clear that it wasn't on the replay, so I don't know what she was thinking. Then there's a point where the refs give the Aces a delay of game warning, which ends up in a technical. So the Wings get to shoot a free throw because they didn't have players come out fast enough. The Wings were shooting free throws, and they were changing out players, and apparently they were too slow with it, so they gave them a delay of game technical. It was like, excuse me? Really bizarre. Then there's another time, a couple minutes later, there's another challenge that happens with Becky Hammond. She goes to challenge out of bounds play, and they actually win that. So it's just, these calls are just like very problematic. The refereeing in the games in the WNBA has always been an issue, but it continues to be an issue. Then again, in the fourth quarter, Asia gets hit in the head again from a foul from Kehlani Brown, but it didn't get called, but it was a basketball play. It wasn't intentional, but still, just like she's getting beat up and no calls are going her way. These refs are just letting her get beat up. It was crazy. In the fourth, though, the Wings did try their hardest to come back and try to pull off the win, but they just couldn't. And the Aces were dominant in this game, and they won it 95-81. But you see Maddie Siegrist being incredibly consistent. She got 14 points in this game. Monique Billings had 12 points. Tierra McCallum had 14 points and 15 rebounds, double-double. Arike Ogunbowale had 31 points, 7 assists, and 4 steals. But there's more. With the the Aces, Alicia Clark had 9 points. Asia Wilson had 36 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 steals, rivaling Arike. They were going at it in this game. It was a beautiful thing. I love to see it. So Asia actually had a double-double. Jackie Young had 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. Kelsey Plum had 20 points. Tiffany Hayes, this is her first game with the Aces. She had 11 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal. This is her first game. Came out of retirement and everything. Amazing. So that game was incredible, very fun to watch. Prime TV should have been on television, but it was on League Pass. Good enough. Now the second game. Hi, the Minnesota Lynx versus the Los Angeles Sparks. I kind of already knew how this was going to go. I kind of figured that the Sparks were not going to pull this out, considering their schedule. They're only 2-6, and the Lynx have been really dominant this year. And it was really disappointing to see the arena. They were at Crypto Arena, and it was not sold out. It was only like a third full, and I haven't seen it that empty in a long time, like a few years actually. I was kind of surprised about how empty it was, and I'm surprised they didn't move it to the Long Beach arena that they were playing at in the beginning of the year, the beginning of the season, because that would have made it at least look, it would have been full, it would have sold out in comparison, but, it just looked kind of bad to be a third of the way full. But despite that, the fans were really into it. They were very hyped about this game. They were showing a lot of support, even though it wasn't a very full game. Lasia Clarendon did come back because they had a concussion from a few games ago, and they were able to come back in this game. But Cameron Brink, gets her first foul within 1.5 minutes into the game. Only 1.5 minutes go by and she gets a foul. Kia Nurse gets a technical a couple minutes later because she's mad that she got called for a foul that she didn't think it was a foul. And then they didn't score until 3 minutes in, and the Lynx had already 10 points or something at that point. And I was like, oh, this is about to be a long game. This is not going to be good. The Sparks were really trying, but the Lynx were doing what they've done all season, which is prove people wrong. They were playing amazing. It was 45-26 at the halftime. Ooh, it was hard. But like I said, the fans were in it. They were really jazzed. The in-house entertainment was doing the best that they could to keep people engaged, and people were having a really good time and dancing, and they were loud. So gotta give it to the Sparks fans, the people who did show up. The final for this game was 86-62. Oh, it's rough. Dearica Hamby was the only person in double digits. She had 17 points and 11 rebounds. She had a double-double, but she was the only player with double points in the whole game. That's crazy. In the whole game for the Sparks. Ray Burrell had 9 points and 5 rebounds. Lasia Clarendon had 7 points. Lexi Brown had 6 points, but she got injured at the end of the game, or kind of re-injured because she was kind of injured from another game, and it seemed like the same leg, same ankle. Brink ends up fouling out with 2.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. She was struggling. She only had 2 points and 6 rebounds. And the same for Kia Jackson. She only had 2 points. So it's just we're kind of building this new team and new chemistry and forming this identity. And the rookies are going to struggle sometimes. And they struggled a lot tonight. For the Lynx, they were putting on a masterclass. Bridget Carlton had 15.7 rebounds. Nafisa Collier had 25 points, 9 rebounds. Alana Smith had 10 points, 5 rebounds. Kayla McBride had 13 points, and Courtney Williams had 9 points and 6 rebounds. So not a great game for the Sparks, but the Lynx had a fantastic game. They were able to put their bench out there, actually, and get them a couple of points as well. So all in all, it was a very fun first game, and then unfortunately the second game wasn't as exciting, a little bit of a blowout there. But it happens, you're not going to play your best ball all the time, and unfortunately in the league right now, the 3 worst teams are really bad. So that's the Los Angeles Sparks, the Washington Mystics, and the Indiana Fever. They're absolutely terrible. So those games, a lot of them might not be very entertaining, and that's just how it is. But I still love the game. I'm still gonna watch them as much as I can because I care about women's basketball and I care about these players. So if you enjoy this type of coverage, I make videos almost every day for every day of the games. I won't do it every day, but I'm doing it as much as I possibly can. And yeah, like, share, and subscribe. I do not have a comment section because I don't care what people think about me. See y'all in the next one.